fatal heart impacts, past painful scars. In fact, I blast tasteful bars and pass. I back up my actions, fact don't ask, grab reactions, jacked attack with every word, then act with class as they hear me snap. I got nothing to lose, cause I fought and felt the bruise. Now I'm not the one confused, call the shots and they produce. I ain't lost, I'm finally loose. Pick a new silver excuse, I need the views to boost me to a new abuse of being used. Everybody wants a piece now, y'all can rest in peace now. You're dead to me, so peace out. Remember, you're discreet now. Get ready for defeat now.
Alrighty. Hello, everybody. This is Kirusho here, and now, whenever we last left off with this series, we had Deku and the survivors of Class 1A and B. Now, in the last part, they were able to come up with a plan, and it was very divided on it. Now, our survivors moved the clerk's vehicle across the street into the alleyway, and in the process, they alerted some of the infected. And whenever they were all trying to pack their way inside, because the amount of infected were increasing and coming towards them, Momo got her hair caught by one, and Jiro did have to cut it off using a pair of scissors. And this did actually shake up Momo quite a bit. She was nearly dragged outside by a group of infected people. And, well, the idea of what would have happened to her out there scares the shit out of her. Since it's not a thought she does want to continue with. Now, everybody they did at least come to a bit of an agreement. They're going to stay here and try and find out more information. They need to just try and wait this all out. If possible, the military will take care of it, and the world will return to normal as if nothing ever happened. Right? It has to just go back. Now, that was the problem everyone was having, as it's been about 2 weeks since the first day, or the second day. And we do have currently day 15 of the infection, where class, or the survivors, they've been in the store for about 2 weeks. They've tried coming up with different things and different ideas of what to do, as they're starting to at least burn through their supplies a lot quicker. The amount of stuff they had was a lot, and now they're about down to all the stuff that they can carry. And this is the problem. Ida's leg, he still has to get treated by an actual doctor. It may have healed wrong. They've done the best they can, but if they try to mess with his leg anymore, they could damage it beyond repair. And Ida basically does at least have a handmade splint from a few things. As, yeah, he's still taking those painkillers. And we do actually cut to outside, or on the roof of the building, with Deku and, let's just say, Jiro. Both these two are sitting down and looking around, as they're trying to find a way out. As we do actually where Deku, he is staring off into the distance in the sea of infected individuals, who they're different from what they were about 1 week prior. As Deku is currently drawing in his notebook, and Jiro Shiska walking up to him, as Shiska hold out a bottle of water. Oh, thank you. Deku going to grab it in his hand, as he does go to open the top of it and go to actually start drinking from it. So, exactly what are you doing now? Huh? Oh, I'm writing a few things down. What do you mean? Oh, Deku holding up number 13. This is my notebook. It talks about pro heroes and other things now. Originally, I used it to catalog and describe other heroes' quirks and their powers, along with even some training they do go through. I started using the rest of the pages to catalog the infection and the zombies. Now, Deku doesn't go to look over the side, as he does see what used to look like people. They're so much worse now. The first few days, their skin looked to be intact. They just looked waxy. But now they look like melted. The skin does still cling to the flesh. However, it does look like it's just been dragged down. And it's actually very frightening to look at. The zombies, they might be blind. They don't really know. They still respond to sound. And that much is apparent. But some of them, they do at least have skin covering their eyes, or at least the area where their eyes should be. This could be an opportunity. I have a few theories going around. Really? Yeah. I think the infected are blinded. Do you think so? I don't know. We could test it. There's a few problems with it, however. The problems are if the infected are blinded, their sense of hearing might have increased. And with the loss of one sense comes the rise of another. However, if they're not blinded, that does pose another problem. They're just as dangerous as they are before. There's also another theory I've come up with. What is it? Um, was it May or was it Kendo? I don't remember which one. But one of them, they said that an infected, they saw one that had a weapon inside of it. Really? Yeah. So, there's a bit of a problem. Stabbing weapons. They're kind of the ones we need. We need weapons that can cut through flesh. The infected that we saw, or they saw, they said it had a bat in its stomach. Really? I don't know. They just talked about how there was a massive bat sticking out of it. So, I think that their bodies, they might cling to objects. It's a theory, but they're more resistant to damage now. So, that's all you have to go off of. Somewhat? It's strange. I don't really know what else to say. The sun should be coming up in about 30 minutes. So, that's some information I have. We could try leaving still, but we've been here for 2 weeks and we haven't gotten any information. Even the TV yesterday, nothing was picked up. The news broadcast was still cut. And even then, emergency services, other landlines, and other forms of communication, we've got nothing. All of our phones are almost at zero. We're trying to charge them as fast as we can, but at the same time, we can't do that. It's just, I don't know how much longer this can go on. We keep trying to reach out and do anything we can, but stuff is already breaking. These cheap, flimsy phone cords we have here, and even the other things. The batteries, they're gonna run out eventually, but we do at least have good resources here. We have that bat, but we don't need it. At this point, I'm thinking we need better weapons. And I'm trying to find a place or think of a place we can go to. I can probably help you with that. What do you mean? I don't think it's too far away. I don't know. We'd have to look at a map. Now, Deku, he does get to stand up, talking about how if she does have an idea or know someplace they can go to, then she does need to tell him. Okay, okay. Sorry, I'm just. I stopped being nervous around you guys, and now I'm just trying to think. My mind's in overdrive, and I haven't slept, okay? Okay, it's fine. Just chill out. Alright, sorry. Now, you do actually have where the two do go walking over to the ladder. Deku climbing down, as he is going to step down onto at least a box or a crate they did put down there. As Deku does let go of the ladder and drop down onto it. I'm going to step to the side as Jiro does come down after him. And the two they do go walking back into the store. As they do so, you do actually have where they try and figure everything out. Them using somebody's phone, which does at least still have some charge left on it. As they do look online and look for a map. Jiro trying to put in the location of this place. As you do have where the location does pop up. The place they're trying to go to is about, let's see. Let's say it's about 4 or 5 blocks away. And this distance does surprise a lot of people. Hey, Jiro, you're really thinking about going that far? Listen, it's an idea. One of the shops there, they have knives. This one in particular, it should have a lot, if we're lucky. And it should still have at least some stuff. Okay. But what exactly is a shop? Oh, well, I don't remember the name of it exactly. They sell replica weapons. And at least, I think they're replicas. I don't know. They pride themselves on their work. But still, they should have what we're looking for. Are you sure? How do we know these replica weapons aren't fake? Because I've been down there before. I've looked at a few of them. I've seen them. I saw them for a band, and I thought about buying one, but that's besides the point, okay? Listen, I know for a fact some of them are real, some are fake. If people they have known about the shop, they'll assume they're all fake. So there's a good chance the stuff's still there. Now, you do actually have where everybody they do go to consider this. It's kind of an interesting idea. May, she's very interested in hearing about these replica weapons. She's just wondering if they can find anything else while they're out there. She does want to try and do a few things. It sounds particularly interesting because the fact that they can make replica weapons means they have the equipment she would need for a workshop. And we actually do have where a few people they do start talking. Denki he's in, because hey, he just wants a sword. And Kendo, she's actually very interested in this. She does vaguely know how to use one. She has trained in martial arts, but with swordsmanship, she does actually know some of the basics. Jiro, she's curious about finding something for her. Momo, she's actually very interested in this because that would mean that if she does get some of the stuff, she can be more useful. She hasn't used her quirk since the outbreak started. And ever since anytime they need something, it's more or less she just feels useless. And this is a good opportunity for her to finally do something. And we do actually have Ida and Kirishima. Ida, yeah, he kind of doesn't really know what to do. He's kind of just been panicking and out of it ever since this all started. And he just doesn't know what to do anymore. He can't run, he can't call anyone, there's no one left in his family that he can find or get into contact with. His brother is infected and is a zombie, and if he's correct, was taken out on day 1 of the infected, or day 2. And, well, he's been trying to call family ever since. He stopped whenever his phone died, and he just gave up. And you do even have Kirishima. He's tried to call anyone, and he's even tried to help Ida get through it, trying to use his phone to make sure this guy doesn't give up. But at the same time, he's starting to lose faith in all of it. This situation they're in, it doesn't feel right. These guys who are supposed to save them, they must have just turned back or turned into cowards. What they're doing isn't manly. They're supposed to be saving the day and stopping the infected. But that's not happening. And Kirishima, he just feels like a coward sitting inside. As you do actually have Tokage. She actually is very interested in this topic. If they can get weapons, they can at least start to kill off infected in a certain area and at least find a place to actually call a base. This would be massive for them. This would be just revolutionary. And you do actually have Ochako, who she herself, she kind of just doesn't really know. She's been, well, just on the sideline. She has been helping and trying to do things, but this entire idea, it's freaking her out. She can't tell what to do. If they do this, this means going outside, leaving the safety of the store. They still have plenty of stuff left. They need to stay here for as long as possible. Just one more week. We do even have May, who she's already got her mind made up. Now, it's been decided exactly how they're going to do this. They need to hurry. With the fact that the sun just came up, they're not going to have a lot of time. If other survivors are around the area, they're going to try and go to that store. So they need to at least try to be the first ones there in the area. This being where everybody, they do go to leave. As we do have where they do go outside. And we do actually currently have Deku, Jiro, Momo, and let's just say Kirishima and Denki. Now, we do make their way to the opposite end of the alleyway, as they do take out infected carefully on the way, as it does involve a lot of bashing of the head. Now, they do take out at least, let's just say, 4 or 5 different infected, and Deku even did have to take a swing on one. And it just did remind him of back then. Now, we do actually have at the end of the block, where they do need to just cut straight across and head that way. If they can do that, they can just stop or go around the GPS's position, meaning that they can just cut straight through three alleyways and go straight and then just turn left and down halfway to the store. If they can do that, they'd be perfectly fine. They don't have to follow the GPS and go on the sidewalk. However, this is a lot riskier. They have to go full out across the street. And that's the hard part. Now, we actually do have where Deku, whenever he does see an opening, he does look around. And he does just go to do one thing. Okay, please be right about this. Deku actually going to step forwards, as everybody they do actually turn to see Deku. And somebody at least go to try and bring up their hand and try to call it for Deku. Isoko. This being where Jiro is going to bring up her hand and tell them to stop. Why? What is he doing? He told me about this earlier. Just, well, watch him for right now. Now, Deku is going to do one thing. him stepping carefully as he does feel every hair on his back on edge, and it's standing on end, as Deku just could walk straight past an infected. And the infected doesn't even respond to Deku. The sounds of the infected are all making, they're all louder than him. Deku being able to just simply walk straight by the infected person casually. Now, Deku is actually going to let out a small sigh of relief as he does continue walking. This being where Deku does actually see something go to reach out for him. Deku actually turning and actually going to step to the left as he does see an infected person whose eyes, they aren't visible, but apparently they can tell he's there. The moment Deku actually does go step to the left, he does look towards them, as he is going to actually turn back to his left or turn his head to the left to see if he did bump into anyone. This being where another infected person is trying to reach out for Deku, as Deku does go turning and running straight into the alleyway. Now, everybody, they do see that, as we do have where Kendo, or not Kendo, let's see, Kirishima, he does come up with an idea. It's a bit risky, but it could work. The idea is to make a loud sound. From what he can tell, the infected person who did Deku walk straight past, they didn't see him. But the other ones, they did. And we actually currently have Deku, who he's hiding behind a dumpster and on the other side of the alleyway, as his heart is pounding. Okay, that was bad. That was pretty bad. They can still see. Some of them can still see. Some of them can still see. Now, Deku, he's having his panic attack, as we do actually have where he does hear something. I'm actually going to step onto his feet and look over, as he does see that somebody, they just grabbed a trash can lid. And Deku just watches Kirishima, he does going to actually bring it up with both hands and actually start to swing his body in a circle, as he's going to chuck it as hard as he can, and it does get sent flying straight through the air, as it does smash into a window and create a large sound. Now, this is where everybody, they do watch the infected. Some turning in that direction, starting to scramble that way, as everybody, they really start to wait a bit. Now, the infected that are in the area do start to move towards the sound, as our survivors do start to cut through the opening. This being where everyone does regroup and continue heading down, as they actually do see something. While they're cutting through the alleyway, some infected are starting to make their way towards them. And this is actually where Deku, he does go to look around quickly. Him actually turning his head to see a trash can, as Deku is going to bring up his hands and throw open the large dumpster. As he does look inside, there's not really a lot of trash in here. Guys, I have an idea. You can't be serious. It's either this or the zombies. Can I choose the zombies? Now, Deku, he actually is going to leap up and over into the dumpster, as this is actually where somebody, they do at least go to look up, and to the right, as Jared has pointed out that there's a ladder right there. Will we even be able to get up there? Come on, Deku, just hop out. Now, Deku, he is confused, as he does jump back over, and everybody, they do at least start to grab the trash can, or the large dumpster. As they do start to push it, Deku does understand them pushing it over, and then going to actually move up and onto the ladder. Now, this is where everybody, they do pile up and go up, as they're currently standing, or at least on the fire escape to an apartment. As the zombies, they do start to try and reach up and grab the healthy. This being where Deku, he is currently just looking down. The infected already pushed the dumpster out of the way, and now they're just waiting. Okay, my idea wasn't as good as I thought. Hey, you were just trying to think on your feet, man. Thanks, Kirishima. I get that, but still. Even then, I don't know what to do. Hmm. I get it, don't worry. But we're gonna make it through this. I hope so. Yeah, um, the shop is just around that corner, right? We still have to go through the other alleyway. Really? Yeah, we should just continue to wait. Now, everybody they do just do this, as a loud sound can be heard. Now, our survivors do actually look in the direction of that sound, which did come the same way the infected were walking away from, as they do actually start to head that direction and outwards. Now, it's actually kind of strange. Deku he's able to actually see the infected now, and up closer, then back at the store. He can tell from looking at some of them that their quirks, they're messed up. There's a man who did at least have some sort of stars or spikes on his head, and they did appear to be at least melting into each other. So that's something. There's a man who has his eyeballs, well, out of his head, and he's at least got them melted onto his skin. So he can tell that at least that guy might be blind. And there's actually a guy who he did actually produce some sort of smoke or something from his body. And he's still producing the smoke. However, he's just more. What is it? He's able to produce it from his skin, but he does seem like a less advanced version of Kirigiri. You can still see his body, but you can just see smoke pouring out of him in very, very poor amounts. Now, everybody they do start to make their way down. After the infected, they basically do go to the loud noise and start heading that way. As our survivors, they actually do start to run, then being able to quickly run across the street and into the alleyway, continuing to go down there as about 5 minutes do pass, and eventually they are at the store. Now, we actually do have where they're at the shop, and Jiro can actually tell from looking at the sign, and at least the windows and doors, this place, people have already tried looting it. It doesn't look too good. Now, this is actually what does mess with them. At first glance, the store looks completely trashed and destroyed. And if you do actually look to your right and to your left, there's not actually a lot of infected people around. So, as long as they're quiet, they might not be found out. Now, everybody they do at least try to stick to these rules. Stay quiet, and they won't find you. Now, this is what everyone is trying to do. Them trying to walk into the store and avoid the broken glass. As they do begin to search around. And it's quite interesting. They do find some wooden swords, they do even find a few things that do seem interesting. And they actually do even find a metal bat. Now, we actually do have where Deku, he actually is looking around. And he actually is searching behind the counter. As Deku is going to bend down and look around. As he was going to reach down and grab something. As he was going to pull it out. What is this? Now, somebody's actually going to turn to Deku. As Kenusha's turn to see Deku, and she's going running up to him. You found something. Yeah, it's wrapped up. Now, Kenota is beginning to start undoing the wrap on the sword. As she's going to pull it from the sheath and at least show it to Deku. This one's real. Wait, really? Yeah. Where did you find this? Just down here. Perfect. Do you think there'd be more in the back? The back? Yeah. Okay, if we do go back there, we need to be very careful. Okay, I get it. Hey, listen, calm down. There's nobody back there. Now, Kendo, she has tried to at least compose herself as well. She doesn't know that. The fact is, they thought the same way in the store last time. There's nobody out front, but they don't know who's back in the back. Now, you do actually work Kendo, she is going to bring with a sword. And they do start to make their way towards the back door. Or at least into the back supply room. Now, as they do so, everybody they do start to pile into the room. And it's actually a lot smaller than you did think, along with actually being a lot messier. This being where they do start to look around. There's not very much going on. There's just a bunch of broken boxes and, you know, stuff lying around. The wooden swords and such. This being where Kirishima actually is stepping forward to go and pick some up. As Deku, he himself is trying to search around. He's trying to at least find some of the boxes that haven't either been opened or may still possess something inside. And there actually is one where he does going to pull out something. As everyone they do turn to see Deku holding what looks to be a, let's just say, rapier or a short sword. What is this one? That one, I don't know. It's a sword. Yeah, it is. Okay. But what does it do? It's a sword. It stabs things. I know that, but I don't know what type it is. It's not a katana or anything. Now, Denki, he does at least point this out. It's, well, a sword. It's a thin one, but it's still a sword. And everybody they do is just turn to him. This being where everybody they do start to look back towards Kirishima. And they do continue to look around, eventually finding more things. And we even do have something. As they are looking around, Deku does notice something. Whenever they do go into another room in this area, they do find a bag. Or at least let's just say the office in the back room. As you do have where Deku does walk in and see that there's a bag sitting on the table. What the heck? Now, he does actually go stepping forwards and moving in. As Deku does step forwards and go to actually zip open the bag, looking down inside as his eyes do widen. It's got weapons. Wait a minute. Deku actually going to reach down. There's folding knives in here. There's even other types of knives. Long hunting knives with grips on them. Where did this come from? This being where Deku does is hear something. As he is going to look up and see as a hand has come out from underneath the table. This being where Deku is going to actually grab a knife and go to actually step backwards. As somebody they do come out from underneath. And Deku is going to bring up his hand as the person is step out. Okay, so you're just all human, right? Who are you? Deku is holding up the hunting knife. Hey, kid, listen. You might want to put that down. Why? I don't know you. Well, it's quite simple. The person would actually hold up a firearm. As Deku's blood does run cold. Okay. Oh, now you want to listen, kid. You thought you had it, didn't you? You're not that kid. You're not that guy. Listen, I came here earlier. And after that loud crash I heard, I hid. I locked the door, and at least I thought I did, and tried to hide. I didn't have room down there. So what you're going to do is you're going to turn around and walk right out that door. And we're going to act like this never happened. Hey, listen. I don't mean any harm, okay? Despite my looks, I'm actually a UA student. Hmm? You're wearing a dirty jumpsuit, kid. I doubt you're from UA. No, listen to me. Listen to me. I'm in the hero course. Okay, I doubt that. Besides, what is it? What is even your quirk? Um, well, I have a strength augmentation quirk. Really? So why aren't you? Why are you looking for weapons? Because of the quirk malfunctions. If you use your quirk when you're bit, you turn. Hmm? Kid, that's the most ridiculous logic I've ever heard. But it's true. Whenever you're bit and your quirk activates, you start to have waxy skin. It starts to melt. I mean, how haven't you encountered anyone like that? Hmm? Kid, no, I haven't. Besides, I'm quirkless. Wait, you're quirkless. That must mean you're immune. Hmm? Immune? I doubt that. I've seen quirkless people turn. You have? Yeah, I have. It's not pretty. And in fact, I think they have a bigger chance of dying. I don't know. I've I've been bitten myself. But the ones who I've seen, they don't go out infected. What? Kid, when you're bit, you turn into a zombie. That's how things work. People either try to amputate their limbs or they off themselves. But that's not how it works. Hmm? How would you know? Deku actually going to at least bring up his hand and go to pull back his sleeve. As the person standing there, they do actually see Deku's bite mark. As they actually do see that it's healing, or it's almost completely healed. What the hell? Listen, I told you. I have information. We can make a trade. Kid, how about you tell me how you're infected and not turned? I told you. I don't know what else to say to you. Okay, you're coming with me now. But I don't know what to tell you. Listen to me. What I'm telling you is the truth. Now, Deku, he is starting to get a little bit too loud. As somebody, they do actually go to throw open the door and run into the room, trying to ask Deku if he's okay. As the person holding the gun, they do actually go to turn and fire it. As the shot does ring out. Now, with that being said, Deku, he doesn't really go to turn his head. And he does see the body that hit the ground. As Deku does go to run over and go to grab at Denki. Now, Deku is trying to ask Denki if he's okay, as he's just shaking him. And Denki, he has a hole square in his chest, as everybody else does come running up. And they do actually see Deku with Denki. And this is where they actually watches the guy, he's trying to run out straight past everyone. As Kirishima, he actually is going to try and grab the guy by his hand, as the guy is going to fire off 2 more shots into the air. And we actually have Kendo, who, using the bat, she actually just smashed the guy square in the stomach. The guy dropping the bag of weapons as he is moving backwards. This being where Deku, he actually does look up towards the guy and actually going to look down. The guy just dropped the gun. Deku actually going to lunge forwards where he is going to grab it. As he does so, the guy does go to run forwards towards Deku. As Deku does go to just do one thing. In his left hand he does have the knife. In his right he has the gun. The guy rushing forwards and going to try and tackle Deku. Deku is going to bring out his hands to defend himself. As the guy does fall straight onto Deku's knife. And Deku, he does just go to open his eyes. As he does feel the weight of the gun in his hand. The barrel of it is pressed into this guy's chest. And, well, Deku just feels something warm on his left hand. As everyone, they do actually go running over and going to push this guy off of Deku. As Deku does actually look towards the guy and see the knife in his chest. I stabbed him. I stabbed him. Hey, hey. Now, everyone they do at least try to compose Deku. Somebody grabbing the box of knives or the, well, bag of weapons and going to at least get up. Deku actually going to turn towards Denki as he does look down at him. Now, Denki's not breathing, and it's all sorts of bad. As somebody they actually go to pull Deku, and they do really start to run off. Now, the moment they got out of the store was whenever they did look around. The shots that ring out are attracting infected. This being where everybody they at least do turn and go to run to the alley quickly. As they do run to the alley, they do at least try to have the same tactic. They need to get up high and hide. If they hide in the fire escapes, the infected won't find them. And this is what they do. As they do, use the same dumpster from earlier and climb up. As they do actually go higher and higher onto the roofs. Now, as everybody they are sitting on the roof, they actually are looking over the bag. And looking inside the contents of it. There's so much stuff in here. As we actually have Deku, who he's still holding the gun in his right hand. And he does just get to look down at his left hand. It's blood. It's another guy's blood. The guy wasn't infected. He was a human. He wasn't infected. Now, somebody actually go to turn and look straight at Deku. As they do actually go to walk over. Hey, Kirishima, sorry. Don't do that to me. Just leave me alone. Hey, listen to me. It's not your fault. What are you talking about? I stabbed him. He shot Denki. I know, but I stabbed him. Now, Deku, he just starts to cry and break down. He killed a living person. He didn't mean to. It was an accident. They just fell on his knife. That being what Deku tries to tell himself. However, he did actually try to block the person from attacking him. And he did mean to try to defend himself. But he didn't mean to kill them. Now, I believe that is a good point to leave this part off of, and I do hope you guys enjoyed. And have an amazing day. I'll catch you guys in the next part.